Welcome back to Prime News on HLN. It is a terrible tragedy for a reality TV star and his family. The History Channel's Jesse Browning's 4-year-old stepdaughter was mauled to death by the family's pet Rottweiler. You may know Jesse Browning from the History Channel's Axemen. Let's watch.
I'm Jesse Browning. I'm a hook tender for J.M. Browning Logging. Been out here in the woods for about 10 years now. Oh, I'm definitely proud to be a logger. I've been going up in the woods.
The lumberjack called 911 after the child's mother found the little girl's body lying in the family's yard. This is in Astoria, Oregon. 4-year-old Ashlyn was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. And now we're learning this is not the first dog attack at the Brownings family home. 4 months ago to the day, another pet Rottweiler attacked an adult family member. That dog was euthanized, and today 2 of the family's remaining Rottweilers are under quarantine, so they had 4 in all at one point. That's what we're gathering here. We'll take your calls on this, 1-877-TEL-HLN. Our question on Facebook, should a Rottweiler, or really any aggressive breed dog, or a dog that has a natural tendency to be more aggressive, be a family pet or not? A lot of you chiming in. Facebook poll right now says 53% say yes, 47% no. Weigh in there. Let's get our experts in. Joining us, Diane Pomerance, a dog behavior specialist and author of the book, Our Rescue Dog Family Album. Also with us, Lori Tobias, staff writer for the Oregonian. Lori, I'll start with you. What more can you tell us about this attack on the little 4-year-old? Why did the dog attack in the first place? Do we know?
No, we don't know, and that's something we may never know. Dogs are wild animals, and they do have instincts. And
Any details, Lori? Did the dog... Was the dog out in the front yard, hopped the fence in the backyard? Isn't that the way it went? The dog's in the backyard, jumped the fence to get to the little girl?
That isn't information I have.
Okay.
Your knowledge is a little different than mine.
What do you have?
What I reported and what the Sheriff Bergen told me was that the mother looked out the window, saw the child on the ground and the dog standing nearby, and that's when the whole chain of events began. The other thing, I did not know that the dog, I know that the sheriff told me 4 months ago to the day they were called to the home because of an aggressive Rottweiler, and they did take the dog and euthanize it. I didn't know that dog had attacked anyone, and I'm only aware of 3 Rottweilers, not 4.
Okay. Well, let's get Diane in on this. Diane, when you talk about what happened to the 4-year-old, what would make a family pet, yes, it's a Rottweiler, but what would make the pet attack like that?
There are so many possibilities in that regard. The child may have demonstrated behavior that seemed threatening to the dog. You know, children are renowned for pulling the tails of animals, pulling their ears. It's something that may have been provoked by the dog. Otherwise, dogs are territorial, and he may have seen her in a context in which he didn't recognize her as she was by herself in the front yard. So there are numerous ways to explain that kind of behavior. Okay.
Let me ask you the question about, and it's the Facebook question. You can go there and vote, by the way. I'm talking to our viewers here. Should a Rottweiler be a family pet? Can a dog that, again, has the natural tendency to be a little more aggressive be a pet? Should they be?
They can be, and there's no reason why they can't be. But before you purchase or adopt a Rottweiler or a Pit Bull or any of the aggressive, so-called aggressive breeds, you really need to conduct your research and determine the characteristics. If you're going to buy it from a breeder, you want to know its ancestry, its background, behaviorally as well as physically. Are there any physical problems associated with this animal that may result in that kind of behavior? Also, you really have to obedience train any animal, and any breed is capable of this type of behavior. They are animals, and unless they're socialized from early on, you can expect or anticipate that something like this as a possibility.
Diane, aren't there breeds that just we hear about this more? And I don't want to stigmatize, because it does have a lot to do with the owner and how they're raised. But certain dogs, don't they have a more of an aggressive tendency, i.e. the Rottweiler?
Absolutely. They're bred for that. And these are guard dogs in many cases, fighting dogs in many cases, and they are genetically bred for that outcome. So that when people adopt, as I said, they really need to conduct research and find out who their family members will get along best with, socialization techniques, behaviorists, etc., and consult with these people and find out if this is an adoptable animal.
Okay, we're going to take your calls on this. You know the number, 1-877-TEL-HLN.
She wanted to go back outside and play so bad, and she's just outside for a couple of minutes, and I really couldn't tell you all that happened. It just happened so fast.
Heartbroken dad there. His name's Jesse Browning. He's a reality show star on the History Channel show Axemen. He's a logger, and his 4-year-old stepdaughter mauled to death by one of the family's Rottweilers. They have multiple Rottweilers. We believe 3, possibly 4 dogs. Now, there was an attack again, or one of the Rottweilers became aggressive 4 months ago. That dog was put down. We're taking your calls on this, 1-877-TEL-HLN. Sheila's with us in Illinois. Hey, Sheila, your thoughts here?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Sheila.
First of all, you punish the breeder, not the breed. And I have a problem when you have dogs tied up outside, and you don't love the dogs, and the dogs don't spend time in your house, and they're not in your bed, and they're not in your family. I mean, it sounds to me like those dogs were just just extra tag-alongs in the family, and they weren't even, in that situation. But in my situation, I have 2 pit bulls, and those pit bulls are the love and lights of my life. But
you've done the job. You've trained them well, and you've done the obedience, and you've done your due diligence with the dog that you have to do that with. Well, really, you should do it with any dog. Okay. You can get in their face, and I would trust them around a newborn. Okay. One of them can detect when I'm getting ready to have a seizure. So, I trust my dogs implicitly. Okay, let me get Lori in on this to find out what was going. Do we know anything about what was going? How many? You say 3 Rottweilers. Why'd they have so many, Lori? Do we know? And what was the situation? Were they indoor, outdoor dogs? Anything at all on that front?
I don't know that, but I do know that this family is very well known in Clatsop County, obviously in part because of the TV show, but also it's a logging family. People speak very highly of them. Mm-hmm. They speak very highly of the parents as being loving parents, parents who, were not neglectful. They did not just let the child out unsupervised typically. So I just can tell you they're very highly regarded in Clatsop County.
Let's bring back Diane Pomerance, dog behavior specialist. Diane, when we hear that there's multiple dogs, 3, maybe 4 Rottweilers, does that make them any more or less aggressive? Maybe they've seen another dog act aggressive.
Yes, actually, especially if they're the same sex. And, you put 2 females together, put 2 males together, they can get food aggressive, they can get aggressive over actually the presence of the child, they may want to fight for the attention, etc. So it's very important that these animals are not treated as chattel, as this caller just mentioned, that these are sentient beings that require a lot of attention. You just don't, put them in a yard or tether them to a tree or whatever. Right. They really need a lot of attention.
Hey, Diane, before we let you go, what should have happened after the incident 4 months ago when the one Rottweiler became aggressive and ended up being euthanized?
Well, if there wasn't exhibited any further aggressive behavior on the part of the other dogs, they should have kept them. I don't see a problem there because it was this particular dog that was aggressive. And in fact, it's important to recognize each dog as an individual, and it depends on how they're treated and the circumstances. And again, we don't know if this child in some way, not intentionally, of course, but inadvertently provoked this animal. And remember,
and that's what we got to run, Diane, but that's why if you have kids, you really got to be careful and really be studious about what dog you pick.
Absolutely, just the sounds children make, etc.